What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Bible Wisdom. I wanted to talk about how I believe it's going to be like he's not coming back. What that means, I believe, through scripture, it's going to seem like Jesus isn't coming back. It's going to seem like, where's Jesus? Especially how the Bible talks about scoffers, where it says that, there will be scoffers in the last days saying, where is the promise of his coming? And so they deliberately forget that in the last days of Noah, he waited a long time until Noah entered the ark. He had to wait for Noah to build the ark. He had to wait until everything was ready, and then God built the ark. And so that's what it's going to be like. And I believe that Jesus is saying through different parables that he is going to be sort of, in a way, long time in coming. Now, I think for the church, I think we will know the season of his coming. I think this might apply mostly to unbelievers, where they're saying, hey, where's Jesus coming? I don't see Jesus. I don't see where he is. And so, that's what some people are going to be saying. Sorry about that. And Jesus, I believe, gave a parable of the talents, where he gave entrusted money to his servants, and he said, do business till I come. And he went on a long journey. Now, I don't think we specifically will ever really know when Jesus is coming back until the time he comes back. And so I believe that there's going to be sort of this uncertainty, because you can look through scripture, and I believe, you can be more clear as you look through scripture even more. But from just a little amount, that I know, Jesus has kind of concealed the day that he is coming back. And really, it's not Jesus, it's the Father. The Father has concealed when Jesus is coming back. And I don't think it's going to really impact us in a way negatively. I believe that as Christians, we are to get ready. We are ready in a way. I think that, the baseline of putting your faith in Jesus is done, right? Once you come to Christ. Of course, there are many people who haven't done that. Not everyone believes. But, I think we have to continue to maintain our standing with Christ, our good works, as far as, maintaining good works. Of course, we're not saved by good works, but we should keep doing good. But, as far as when the rapture is going to happen, I don't think that we can just know in our heart necessarily, like, Jesus is coming back this week. Now, I believe that there are different signs, like the temple being rebuilt in Israel, is supposed to be a sign. I believe that a world leader, especially if there is somehow a one world government, which I believe it might take a huge event to really bring that about. I don't think that we're just going to all of a sudden, have a one world government. I believe that, it's going to take something to push people to be like, that's it, but a lot of scholars believe that the rapture is the next thing on God's prophetic timeline. And, I do believe that. I believe, I have seen some videos about, there are, previous, things that could happen before the rapture. Some of those things are a war that breaks out between Israel and other nations, possibly some surrounding nations over in that area. And there already is conflict in Israel, but some people believe that there could be a war that is described in Ezekiel 38, chapter 38 and 39. What do I believe? At first glance, I didn't necessarily think that passage applied to us right now, but as I look, into that passage, I sort of think like, it is a possibility. I believe that it could possibly apply to Armageddon in the book of Revelation, because I believe that the book of Revelation describes all future events that are going to happen. I don't think the book of Revelation leaves too much out. In chapter 6, though, either 5 or 6 of book of Revelation, there is supposed to be some sort of war, world war, that kind of happens where this conqueror is going out conquering, and it's kind of like the first seal that's broken. So if the Ezekiel 38, 39, patches into that, then that's a possibility. But to me, that verse is describing more details of what happens at the Battle of Armageddon. But a lot of scholars do believe that it's a separate thing. It's not necessarily the same war. It's two separate wars. But like I said, I do believe that Revelation describes all of the events that are going to happen. But the rapture isn't fully mentioned in Revelation in a clear way. I know Revelation 3:10 describes some of the rapture events, like I guess you'll keep us from the hour of trial, but it just depends on who you're talking to, that who believes that. I don't necessarily want this channel to be only about the rapture. I believe there's a lot of good things that we can talk about in regards to God and loving people and just the Bible and sin and keeping the commands and fearing God, but I do like to post some rapture videos because they do seem to be a hot topic. But I'm not necessarily making videos just to touch on hot topics that are trending, but I do particularly like the rapture and the different aspects of leaving Earth, and headed to heaven. But I just wanted to kind of make a video talking about how in Noah's time, he made the ark, and he was building the ark, and some people believe that people were saying, hey, what is this guy doing? And they were thinking of Noah as crazy, and they didn't believe that there was going to be an end to life. Especially that in Ecclesiastes, God says that he puts eternity in our heart. And so sometimes we can be living life and we don't think it's ever going to end. And, it does have an end. And so I believe that as Christians, we are more awake to the things of God. And so we don't necessarily, we're not going to necessarily, just all of a sudden, one day Jesus just breaks out in the clouds. I think we're going to see more and more signs where it's going to be really evident, like Jesus should be back. Do I think Jesus can come back this year? Before 2023? What is that, 2 weeks? I'm not so certain about that, but I'm not necessarily the person to, really make that decision. But, as far as a timeline is concerned, I think there's many other things that we can be doing. How patient are you? How kind are you? Do you have rewards waiting for you in heaven? I went through a rapture reward video that, I believe can be very helpful to someone that, is wondering what are some of the, rapture rewards, or just rewards we'll get in heaven. And Jesus did say one particular thing. He said, that we should pray to escape all that will happen and to be counted worthy, to stand before the Son of Man. And so, I believe that we get that worthiness from our faith in Jesus. I believe that, that's a part of a Christian walk. But, I watched a movie how, this pastor was, it's a typical movie. I don't think it necessarily really has any reality to it, but this pastor was like, doing all these ungodly things, but yet he was like, baptized, and he came to faith. But I guess what that means is my point that I'm trying to make is that, I think we can be Christians and we can be like, oh yeah, I'm ready for Jesus to return, but we aren't fully ready, in the sight of God. Maybe in the sight of ourselves, in our own eyes, we can think, hey, I'm ready to go, but I guess, in God's sight, I feel like we can just be working on, walking free from sin, walking a holy life, living blamelessly, and then just having fruit, bearing fruit for God. And I think if we can ask ourselves questions like, do we know what it means to bear fruit? How do we bear fruit? Answering simple questions like, what does the Trinity mean? Or, just different things about salvation. Is baptism necessary for salvation? And, we all have different opinions about certain questions, but, that's my take on it. And, there could be just one person that is, waiting to come to Christ. There's one person out there that needs God to wait. I personally, didn't realize it at the time, but I needed God to wait, because I was, living a Christian life that wasn't worthy of Christ, and so I didn't know it at the time. It's not like I kind of knew what I know now and was still living that way, and so I think that we can all learn from those different aspects of our old life, and try to change our present life. So anyway, that's my daughter in the background. My wife is in the bathroom giving her a bath. So but anyway, thanks so much for checking out this video. I will try to keep posting videos. I post podcasts too. Maybe you can listen to those in the car, while you drive, and that will be helpful because you can't really look at a video while you drive. And so maybe you can save those if you're interested. Obviously you may not, always be interested, but I will try to, make videos on different topics too. But sometimes I kind of stick with, our journey, our battle against sin, but also, future events, different things that are beneficial to our walk with Christ. And so thanks so much for checking out this video, and I will talk to you on the next video. See ya.